What's up, guys? I wanted to talk a little bit about the latest news concerning NASCAR Heat 3, as well as what I'm looking to see when they finally release the information on the 7th, I believe, of July. Uh, but the latest news came from somebody named Colin Hudson. Yeah, that's his name. I didn't want to get that wrong. And I put his link in the description so you can go check out the video for yourself. He shows a little bit of footage of what I'm about to talk about, as well as talked about. He also talked about K&N series is apparently the added series that's coming to the game. There may be another one, who knows, but K&N series has been confirmed. And the other thing that was confirmed was, I don't remember her name, Haley Deegan, or she's a driver, I believe, in the K&N series. And there's some footage of her where they're trying to record her talking to the camera. And apparently what they're doing is adding more of what we got last year, whereas you had drivers talking to you after a race where they were congratulating you or telling you that you need to watch out, that you're ruffling feathers, that type of stuff. And I'm going to be honest with you guys. I'm not panicking, and I don't want anybody to take it like, hey, I'm already running with this. This is very little information. It's just a very tiny part of what's coming in the game. But I have to be honest. This raises a red flag for me. It is something that I was hoping they would walk away from. I really hate the actual video of drivers talking to you in the game. It looks cheesy. It comes across as like a shortcut. Just something that maybe a first-time developer would do, or an indie developer, somebody who's got no money and they're just trying to cobble together something, and then they just use actual video of people talking to you. I've never seen any game that uses real video where the game was actually good. It just, for me, it's just comes across as low budget, and I hated it. Another reason I hate it, it makes you feel disconnected from the game. You know, every other major game in the market uses animated cutscenes, and you don't lose that that sense of immersion. You know, it's jarring when you finish a race and all of a sudden a video pops up and it's a real driver talking to you. On paper, I know that sounds like, oh, it's cool. You actually have Keselowski or Logano or one of these other drivers talking to you, but it doesn't work. It just doesn't. And I was hoping that 704 was just, you know, it was a one-time thing, and now they're really moving up and really getting their act together. But this, it just raises a serious red flag for me. I hate this. I don't want to make a big deal out of it, but you know, one of the things that I feel has been missing in these games that I always talk about is presentation. There's such a lack of it. And the first game had none. And last year's game, although it was improved in areas, presentation really wasn't an area they made improvement. And the only real presentation they had was these video clips. I fucking hated it. I really wish that they would just abandon that, but it seems like they're doubling down. And that, for me, raises a red flag, because it kind of tells me if they're just going to continue with that, and this was something I've brought up in the previous videos, I don't want to see that. It's a sign. Like, is this going to be a game where they just added another series and added more tracks, and then, okay, there it is, it's deeper, that's not enough. And I think that when you played Heat 2, you can see that, and I can't speak for everyone, but I've only gone through the progression of the career mode 2 times. Once I get to Cup, I didn't feel that interest in the lower series to go back and experience that again. And when you rely on that, if that's what they're really relying on, that progression from the bottom series and working your way up, it's going to be a disappointment, because that doesn't have the same impact as the other areas of the game that I've talked about, like presentation, like what happens between races, race preparation, what happens at the race shop, working on the race car setups, through, what happens throughout the weekend, pre-race, post-race, commentary, cutscenes, that type of thing. That's what this game is lacking. And we talked about the first game was only 8 gigs. And last year's game, even after adding 6 tracks and the really what amounts to a bunch of cars, and trucks, you added the 2 series and the extra tracks, and it really didn't, the total content in the game only went up a couple of gigs. And a game that is this small in content is a joke in today's day and age. This is going to be the 3rd game in the series. So this is a culmination of all the work they've been doing for the past 3 years. We need to see a lot more. It's not going to cut it if you're just going to add K&N and maybe another series and a bunch of tracks, and just add more of these video cutscenes from drivers talking to you. That's not going to cut it. And again, I want to emphasize, I'm not down on the game, and this is just a red flag, and I'm not going to just bite my tongue about it and pretend like it's not a big deal. If it is something that's like showing you where they're headed, or where their thought process is, 704, that's not good. And I'm hoping that when they finally reveal the game and they make the big announcement, I hope there's a lot more detail and a lot more that the game has to offer than just, oh, look, K&N series is here and all these added tracks. I really am not interested at all in having any drivers talking to me. That for me is a shortcut. It's a cheap, it just feels cheesy. I hated it in NASCAR Heat 2. And it's just so cheap. I'm looking for, we got to hold these guys up to a higher standard at this point. This is going to be the 3rd game. We can't keep telling people that it's okay because they're a small developer, or it's just the first time, their 2nd game, their 3rd. How many fucking games does a company have to make before you say, okay, we expect more? I remember with Technics, they put out a whole bunch of games year after year, and it's the same fucking people every year giving, excusing them. And we never got a fully fleshed out complete game. And I really don't want that to be repeated with 704. Now, in many ways, they've shown a lot, more promise. But, man, I'm going to be really pissed off if this next game is just going to be we added more series and more cars, and we recorded more drivers talking to you. Um, that's going to be a huge letdown. Now, I'm really trying not to get carried away with this little bit of information. But I was really hoping that they were done with that video stuff. You know, these games are so small in content, they just don't compete with any other games or other sports titles that are loaded with more content. Just the size of the game itself tells you everything you need to know. And I so hope I'm wrong that when they come out the box announcing, they really check off a lot of the boxes that of the things we've been demanding. Um, you know, it's I hope it's more than just doubling down on what they did last year, because that wasn't enough. And now it's the third game. Uh, I don't know, man. What do you guys think? Um, Go check out the Collins channel. You know, he put out the information. So this is a shout out to him. And as always, I do get my information from you guys. So basically, that's all we know at the moment. And I'm really hoping there's a lot more in store. Uh, this video stuff, it's just, I don't like it. And we should be much further along and away from that stuff by this point. And I don't want people to walk away thinking that I'm really shitting all over this next game, because we don't really know enough. But I have to critique the little bit of info that we do know. And go check out Colin's video, because in it he does show you that video where they're actually recording Deegan at the track, and they're telling her what we want you to say, and you could literally hear them regurgitating the same type of stuff we heard from these other drivers in NASCAR Heat 2. I don't want these guys talking to me after a race, especially if it's a video. It's just jarring when these videos pop up and it's some driver telling you, "Hey, you really need to watch it out there," or "Hey, you're really running well." It's juvenile. It doesn't. I don't want to say anything else, because I don't want people to think that I'm really bashing 704. I'm trying not to, but this is a red flag for me, and I really was hoping that we wouldn't see that again. And it scares me, because it just makes me think that, you know, they're just going to do more of what they did last year. Adding more series, more cars, and then more of these video clips. You know, we're still a couple weeks away, and hopefully I'll feel a little better when they finally do reveal stuff. But they better reveal a lot of information, because I need to hear a lot more than this. So, what do you guys think? I look forward to your comments.